Hello, this is Positive Vibes Enterprise. I am Tom Goodwin. This is Michelle Ronquillo.
Hey everybody, welcome back.
And the subject today has to do with body awareness.
Dun da da da.
And actually, when you're talking about spiritual development, body awareness plays a very strong role. And when you develop your intuition, the more you develop your intuition, the more you're able to sense when something's not working properly with your body, and the more you're able to push the limits and get away with it. It's almost like intuition. If it's a little less developed intuition, it won't be as finely tuned. It may be still effective, but it won't allow you to go quite as close to the edge or really deal with a higher degree of intensity. So in other words, a lot of people may not require the highest degree of intuition for what they do, and so the intuition they have is working fine for them. But if they try to read some really hard individuals, they might find that they're over their head, in other words.
And we're talking about when your body's in pain and you need to focus, you need to have spiritual understanding of what's going on around you. You need to understand what emotions you're dealing with at the time in your mundane life and control your body pain as well. It's hard to do because most of the time your pain, it takes precedence, and your emotions and the way that you deal with society, the way that you deal with yourself in general, self-love of healing is all negative.
And your emotional reaction to the pain is going to have a strong effect on how you deal with the pain. And because the emotions are very connected to the body.
Yeah, and the energies around it as well, and the healing around it, and the energies that you need to heal, that you need to bring in.
And with me, I've always been a warrior, so I've always had the attitude that if I'm strong enough spiritually, no pain will get the better of me. I can find a meditative technique to handle the pain.
Yeah, so you can research also back in the Aborigines, teach about focus. The mind and body are two different things. So when you're feeling pain in the body, you can spiritually meditate and understand spiritually that you are a spirit above the body's pain and what you are feeling. And you can control your emotions. You can control the positive energies that you want around you for the healing purposes of quick healing purposes.
And in meditative breathing,
yes,
will help you because it'll relax you. And if you relax, the pain won't feel as strong. The more relaxed you get, and the more you lower your energy, the less the pain will be able to get hold of you because your energy won't be strong enough to support really high level of pain.
And what we always say also is that spiritual focus will get you that control that you're going to need. Dealing with the pain, dealing with other people, dealing with your logic, dealing with your neutrons in your body and everything that's going on, as far as trusting your gut into that healing mode, that you're above your body, you're not your body, you are not the engine.
And I feel very strongly that if you focus on pain and meditate on the pain, that you can do an awful lot to heal yourself, provided you're also focusing on your diet and figuring out how to get the right nutrients in you.
That's
because
right.
If you don't do the nutritional thing, and then exercise helps too if you have poor circulation.
Yeah.
So it's a whole holistic program you have to have. In the spiritual, you pretty well have to take a holistic approach.
Yeah, it's mind, body, and spirit.
And so you can't be healthy unless you take it from all angles. You can't just do one thing and then be messing yourself up in other areas.
That's right.
I mean, if you're going to do things that are injuring yourself all the time, it's going to be hard to keep yourself really healthy. So you have to really focus on, you have to be really careful and figure out what you need to do. And abuse is how people who are abusive and have trauma are going to have a hard time not doing things that are harmful to themselves. That automatically comes with that kind of nature. People who haven't healed from trauma, who have trauma upsetting their spiritual balance, who have a hard time tuning in and figuring out where their limits are, where the line is, where they can safely go.
Yeah. So one step at a time, one breath at a time, and remember to trust that gut, trust the intuition, and always evolve farther every single time that you get a chance to.
And when I talk about meditation and being and developing oneself spiritually, actually what's most important spiritually to your well-being and to your awareness is having a really strong cardiovascular system, so you have good circulation, and having a very strong nervous system so that you have the nerves to relax. You have strong enough nerves to relax, that the nervous system functioning really well. And when you're doing meditation, you're actually training the nervous system with the breathing technique you use, so that you can actually relax under pressure.
That's very important to relax under pressure.
So you can see why the body type for a spiritual expert would be very much one that's very strong cardiovascularly and has a very strong nervous system. That's where the focus was. Now you can have other body types and still have those two strong, but if you're a spiritual expert, you tend to have that your total focus, of course.
Yes.
I always I talk about being reasonable and rational, and actually that's what causes trouble and makes pain go crazy, is if you're not programmed in a reasonable, rational way. So your intuition works so much better if it's grounded in reality and works in a reasonable way. But it's things like trauma and abuse can affect how rationally you deal with things, and that can have a tendency to react to pain and discomfort in a way that's out of proportion to its true nature. Whereas if your intuition is really aligned, you're going to react to the pain in a more realistic and reasonable way.
Yeah, exactly. There's people that over dramatize pain, making your body react, because mind over matter, really, when you look at it. And when people have some kind of emotional trauma, emotional pain, physical pain, all that triggers everything in your body, and it reacts to what your mind is saying. So if you don't have a good, strong understanding of control in that emotional state, you can over dramatize the little bit of pain and make it seem like it's a great big thing when really it's not. You can overcome and push and understand where your limit is to pain, and what it really does when you can focus on the healing part of your body, and understanding that you can have that strength in whatever type of pain that you're dealing with, and grab hold of the strength that it takes to understand what you're going through in a spiritual sense, so your emotional state is calm in the chaotic part of pain.
And one of the things is that one can actually train oneself over time to deal with more and more pain and more discomfort. And if you're like me and have avoided painkillers and it's always pushing the limit and taking risks, in order to figure out, trial and error in order to figure out what happens spiritually. And when you're like a pioneer, always banging your head and always learning the hard way, you have to be good at handling pain, and you also have to be very sensitive.
That's right.
You have to be very quick at making adjustments when you feel the pain in order to deal with whatever the situation is that's responsible for the pain. So, and one can get really good at that. We just live in a society
and and not to interrupt, Tom, but it's also important to keep pushing. When you feel the pain, you keep pushing with your normal routine, that you don't give in to the pain and make excuses of why you need to
But with the pushing, you have
unplug from
you have to sometimes pace yourself.
reality.
You have to pace yourself, and sometimes you have to slow down a little bit.
Got to go at a low energy pace. Nobody in society, low energy is looked bad upon, but it's really not. Low energy, you can go very slow and do a lot of great things in low energy state.
Like the turtle, the tortoise.
It is great. That is a great metaphor. The tortoise. You just go in a low energy state and get shit done. Make it happen.
And low energy can be very precise and exacting, and would probably, in most of the time, makes a lot less mistakes and a lot more efficient.
That's right.
So the person's going fast, it's like the hair going all over the place and not efficiently getting where it needs to go.
Exactly. And know the difference, because there's times like I'm the little rabbit. I'm trying to get multitasking things done for everything. But then I remember, and Tom wakes me up and says, wait, low energy. Oh, yeah, low energy. I get a lot more done at low energy and details handled better in my low energy state.
And the more hardship and pain you can deal with, the more obstacles you can overcome, the stronger your personality becomes.
That's
so
right.
you have to think of it in a positive light. So, of course, you're not going to like the fact you're feeling pain, but you have to see the value in the pain so that you are more willing to endure the pain and figure out how to overcome the pain.
And focus on how to make it stronger for your benefit. You went through the pain, the reason why you're going through the pain, and now let's get to the positive motivations of the forward movements because of experiencing the pain.
And we have so many serious and painful problems in this world.
Traumatic things happening out there.
And that's where empathy comes from. If you can handle the pain, you can have true empathy for the people that have problems. Because what you're doing is you're handling pain in a healthy way. The worst thing that can possibly happen is to have pain destroying you.
That's
have a negative result.
Crumbling you. Let me just sit here and crumble in my pain and misery.
In other words, when children are starving and certain conditions are happening, we shouldn't have unhealthy pain. It's all, I mean, if you're feeling pain because you're a big, huge bodybuilder that's trying to win in a competition and you're lifting these humongous weights and you're trying to push it higher than anybody else, that's different than if you're being destroyed because of some terrible situation in the world where you're not getting your needs met and you're being torn apart and destroyed in war and in violence. And then the traumas develop, and then you have to heal from the traumas. And of course, you heal faster from the trauma if you can handle pain, or the emotional side of trauma. You may not heal from the physical, so if you lose a limb or something, but you can heal from the emotional side if you have developed the ability to handle trauma, which requires that you have spiritual theories that align really well with reality. Because theories don't align very well with reality as spiritual theories, then you're going to have a tendency to not see pain for its value and its positive side. You're not going to be able to handle it because pain tends to connect you with reality. It tends to connect you with the real world.
Yeah, the humble gratefulness.
The hardness of the world, the struggle of this world, the resistant world we live in.
The beyond the gray sky view.
Yeah, so if you have to have that, in order to handle pain, you have to have that view of the world that doesn't see it as negative, the fact it's challenging, but sees the challenges of the world as a positive in which you can demonstrate
gifts and examples of what you went through. Because
you're being tested, you're being challenged, and it brings out the most in you, and then you're able to contribute the most because of the challenges you're up against, allow you to contribute more. In other words, the more you see the challenges, the more you see the rough side of life, the more you will push yourself to try to contribute and make a difference. And if you don't understand the seriousness of the problem or the hardship and the pain-related problems, you're not going to be motivated enough and focused enough to help solve the problem.
Yeah, you got to be an example of what you feel and what you're doing and what you're speaking. In your pain, sometimes when I feel pain in my body with my chronic pains that I experienced in my life, I have to remember not to be angry and take it out on people that I love around me, that I am in control of what I'm going through, and balance the pain and adjust with the emotion spiritually that I still want to see and feel around me. And that's not with me being negative and miserable and giving it to all the people around me. No, that's me holding myself responsible for the pains that I feel, and balance that with the knowledge and spiritual understandings that I can heal and control those feelings and not take it out on anybody else, and put it into the positive light of healing. And when it does happen and it overflows like liquid hot magma, I say around to my people, I'm sorry I'm being a bitch. I am trying to control my pain levels.
Well, yeah, pain can really test you.
And it tests you. But it's okay, but you don't dwell. You don't suppress. You be yourself,
but
you balance it.
You don't want the pain to upset your spiritual balance.
That's right.
You do something that is bad. That what I mean is, if you really have your act together spiritually, you're not going to allow pain to make you a less nice and helpful human being to others. In other words, you're not going to let it upset you.
Or you excuse yourself as you're working on it. That's
well, I mean, what you do is, if you really need to work on it, you can leave the scene, but you're not going to pour negative energy out because you don't like, because you think of pain as a negative thing, so you get really grouchy and you start going after other people. Whereas if you see pain,
not healthy, don't do it. Avoid doing that. Body awareness. Just know the balance where it goes.
When you're talking about body awareness, what happens is, if you're doing like the type of exercises I do, which are really intense, which I can't afford to have even a minor. I can't have a minor injury because I do them so regularly that I can't make a mistake and have a minor injury. So my body becomes very aware, and I'm going to sense pain very quickly if something is wrong. So in other words, I'm developed more of a sensitivity to pain at the time when I need the sensitivity. It's not like I'm going to feel the pain at other times, but when I'm doing the exercises, my body's going to get a lot sharper, and it's going to let me know, don't do this, don't do that. So in other words, it's going to become extra sensitive, and it's going to protect me by doing that. So sometimes you need to have the pain come real quickly, and if you train yourself and become sensitive enough, the pain will come when you need it to come.
That's right. That's right. And I'll give you those warning signs and those moments that you can really see how you can adjust it.
And and body awareness does come along with wellness, and actually when you feel a lot of times when people who have gone through a lot of pain and healed themselves actually can develop the most spiritually, can develop the most body awareness. It's sort of like the pain puts you so much into the body, and then and then once you deal with the trauma and you get past the trauma, you're gonna be into the body really heavily, but not in a negative way anymore.
That's right.
You're gonna now be into the body in an extremely positive way because the emphasis has been put into you. So the people who have gone through a lot physically and overcome it are going to develop more body awareness.
That's right.
And it'll help them a lot spiritually.
And you'll know where to adjust yourself and where to keep those pirates inside of you at bay.
Okay, this is Positive Vibes Enterprise. The subject today was body awareness. We appreciate everybody watching.
Yes, please subscribe. We'd love to see more of you.
And spread the word about us as much as you can because we need more people watching. We're getting better all the time, but even the other videos, the other, almost 80 of them, I think now.
Let's do it. Give us our opinions.
In other words, those other videos may not be quite as good, but they're still very good.
Yeah, go check them out.
In other words, we didn't waste that time on them.
Subscribe.
So